I work for McClatchy, working out of the Kansas City Star primarily, but I work with journalists at the Star, the Wichita Eagle, the Fort Worth Star Telegram, the Belleville News Democrat, the Lexington Herald Leader, and the paper in State College, Pennsylvania. Moved to Kansas City because I have Crohn's disease, an autoimmune condition that affects my gastrointestinal system. And like it is considered like a disability. And so I've been really open with my condition. I was diagnosed in my first year of work at the Dallas Morning News. And so I would say like it's really shaped who I am as a person, as a journalist, and as a leader in our industry. Is anything that presents like a quote unquote like able person or like normal is relative, normal is a dumb word, I really think we should get rid of it, but like as superior. So it is putting someone with a disability or any sort of like difference as like less than. So that's a pretty broad definition. And I think I was thinking about this morning. I quite like the Associated Press's definition. I think it really gets at the heart of that for a lot of like disabled people and also for journalists to help them understand. It has created this connection for people. And I think it's given people who previously did not have a voice, a real voice in our community and in our society. And so I think that you see disabled people like speaking out more than they did before. And they have been speaking out for a very long time, but you've given these people a megaphone to be able to say like, this is ableist, or this is offensive, or this is incorrect. Like blind spot is a really good example. Like that is like just part of English, like an idiom that we use a lot. But it actually is like not, I think we can say it better. I have seen people say like, this is really like ableist and this is offensive. And I think that the next step for journalists or for editors is to put our heads together and really think about some of those like idioms in English that are like, oh, like maybe that isn't the most accurate way to describe this or the most clear, because I think that it becomes a clarity problem, honestly. And same with if you're saying, if you're like dancing around saying that someone is disabled, like special needs also needs to like get out of here. I would just rather be like really direct and say like, I have Crohn's disease, I am disabled. Or someone who is using a wheelchair. They're not handicapped in any sort of way. I think that that's that like talking about handicapping is like, oh, that is implying that person is less than. And I think the really important thing for like journalists and editors to remember is that disability or ability is not a like binary necessarily, and it's not like an all or nothing. Like I feel like I don't like suffers from, is afflicted by, because it is implying this negative connotation, where to me, like Crohn's disease is a fact at this point. Like it is what it is. I resilient, and like making it seem like this terrible thing, like from a news perspective, I think honestly makes it so much harder in other aspects of my life, because disability is so rarely discussed in culture, frankly. People are unsure of how to proceed when like someone says that they have a disability or they have like a chronic illness, or honestly, even if someone is experiencing pregnancy, people get weird about it and people are just uncomfortable. And I think that journalism, like we do help set societal norms and cultural norms. And so I think that by using like negatively twinged language around disability or any sort of condition, like that is telling our reader that like this is a bad thing and this person is unhappy or less than or suffering this great misfortune. I think like walk straight into the discomfort at first, like and like gut check yourself, talk to other people, like go and actually if you're, especially if you're on campus, like there are going to be like university resources that people have thought about this, who there are going to be disabled people that you can talk to. And I think that you should have those conversations like informally. It doesn't have to be about the language, just get familiar with this culture, and like see it as that, as a community and as a culture. And I think too, like try and keep it top of mind in your day-to-day life, like not just when you're editing like a news story, but like if you're writing something on Twitter or on Facebook, just like we are willing to call out racism when we see it, also call out ableism, both in language and in like setup of how events happen. As we go back to an in-person sort of world, like we should be maintaining these accessible spaces too. And the best way to have that happen is for more people to advocate for that.